We have a pope. Robert Francis Prevost, originally of Chicago, Illinois, an American, was elected as Pope Leo XIV. And many people are saying that this man was a complete unknown. That's actually not true. In our complete conclave analysis, we had him as a top 3 candidate. It was a bit of a shock, though, in the moment. It was about 30 minutes after what the Vatican told us, when the Vatican told us the white smoke would come out if it did on this day. But we do have a pope. It's Leo XIV. And I've seen already some people, outside of just saying, oh, this man is a complete unknown, drift into some vibes-based analysis, talking about how it needs to be like an emotional hope or emotionally despondent attitude towards this. Well, if this conclave shows us anything, it's that we can actually have an objective analysis and knowledge when looking at the Vatican. That's how we were able to actually place Prevost as a leading contender. We could judge the positions, we could judge where the cardinals were at and make predictions. And I think we can do the same thing for this upcoming pontificate. And my initial thoughts, initial predictions, having looked into Robert Francis Prevost when he was a bishop, when he was a cardinal, is that this will be more of a callback to a pontificate of Paul VI rather than a Benedict XVI or a Francis. And here's what I mean by that. Firstly, if you look at Paul VI and you look at something like Humanae Vitae, it's somewhat of a conservative, a very conservative in many ways, defense of the church's doctrine against contraception, but it's ambiguously built up when it comes to its foundations and its fundamentals. I think we could see similar things with Prevost. There might be some concerns over the footnotes, his application of the Second Vatican Council, his understanding of it, but in general, it will be a moral defense of many of these conservative moral doctrines that the church is known for. Secondly, I also think there's going to be an openness to the massive liberal world. We even saw this in Leo XIV's initial speech here. And that's similar to Paul VI and his opening up to the United Nations. I think with Leo XIV, we're going to see a continuation of the climate change rhetoric. And I think we could also see fierce opposition against something like the illegal immigration crisis when it comes to Trump's handling of that. I think we can see in his past statements when he was a bishop, Prevost really opposes Trump on some key issues, especially on immigration. And I think we can expect a battle between Trump and Leo XIV in these initial years of his pontificate. Finally, I think he'll be a bit more liturgically conservative. We could see that even in him coming out with the red mozzetta, which is more traditional than what Francis initially did. And I think that is going to show itself through not being open to the traditional Latin Mass necessarily, but just a bit more liturgically conservative in the Novus Ordo.